Moving on to some basic syntax. In this section, we're going to be exploring the fundamental features of PineScript. So by the end of this, you'll understand how a script is structured, the different versions there are. You'll know the difference between a study and a strategy, lines and indentation, and comments. So how a script is structured. Here I have the RSI script. This is the RSI. If you've never used it before, it's just an indicator, and this is the code for it. So the first line of this script is going to be like all the scripts you're going to look at. It's going to be this / version equals 4. This is actually a directive for the compiler on the back end in TradingView. You don't actually have to have it, but you should. It's just basically telling what version to use in the back end. The most recent version is number 4, so we're going to be using that. But as you go through other people's scripts on TradingView, you might find version equals 3, you might find version equals 2, or the first version of PineScript, number 1. If you don't include this, TradingView will automatically default to version 1. You don't want that, so make sure this is always at the top, version equals 4. The next line is going to be an annotation function call, and it's going to be study or strategy. So you'll see this in all the scripts. You have to have it, but it can't be both. It has to be either study or strategy. And then after that, you're going to have a series of statements which actually implement the algorithm you're trying to run. So in this case, it's the RSI. And this right here is basically everything you need to calculate the algorithm for the RSI. You can put functions in here, other calls, there's all kinds of stuff goes in right here. It doesn't really matter, the order doesn't matter, but it usually always comes right after the study or the strategy. If you're using a study, you need to have at least one function call that outputs either a plot or bar color, something that outputs to the screen. So if you were to run study and then just this, it would throw an error. So you need to have something in here, and in most cases it's plot. For strategy, it would actually be some kind of strategy call that would output to the screen, like strategy entry. And you probably don't know what that is right now. If you do, that's good. If you don't worry. We'll go over that in the future lessons. This is just an overview of how the script is structured. So you just need to understand that you need this directive at the top. Well, you actually don't need it, but it's highly recommended to put it in there because otherwise it'll default to 1. And then the next line you'll usually see is this study or strategy. Then all these statements, and then the plot or a strategy function call. And strategies actually can have the plot functions as well, but they do need the strategy calls.